It's the Snowman with TooLoudTooOldMusic.com. Welcome back to the collection. And I can't already believe it. We're at the end of another month, and it's time to do the wrap up for March of 2024 with everything that we added to the collection this month. And I have to say, it was a pretty good month. Got a bunch of new releases and a whole bunch of old stuff to go through. So we might as well just jump right into it. And we'll go with the one album that I think everyone's been talking about, and that is the new Judas Priest album, Invincible Shield. Um, I mean, what can you say about it? It's a beautiful cover. Um, the disc looks great. It's got the Judas Priest logo on it and everything. Um, Mine is the hardback Target edition with the bonus tracks. And I don't know if y'all do this, but I cut off the little wrappers and save the stickers and stick them in there. Um, but this thing is wonderful. I mean, after 50 years, you'd never expect them to come out with an album like this, but man, they still got it. Rob sounds great. The guitars on it are awesome. From that opening song, Panic Attack, I mean, it is just a headbanger all the way through. I'll have to review this because I did do a Judas Priest series, so that will now be the very last one in the series. Another new one I got was from a band called DeLuna. This is the album Monster. Um, the reason I got this, it's by a guitarist by the name of Dave DeLuna, but the vocalist on here is Jeff Scott Soto. So if you follow the website at all, I think I did 18 months, I went through the entire Jeff Scott Soto collection that I have, which 70s, this is like 72, number 72, I think, on my albums of Soto. Yeah, so good hard rock album, very modern sound, a little melodic at times. Jeff sounds really great, and I mean that's why I buy the stuff. I love Soto, so that's a good one. Then interesting one I got, Def Leppard, Diamond Star Halos. This is the HD audio, surround sound, Atmos sound, all of that kind of stuff on a Blu-ray. And it sounds amazing when you crank it up and put it on that. I love the back cover of this. It's just a slipcase. Um, Comes in your typical DVD box set. And then there's the disc and the insert, which I haven't read it all yet, but I have listened to this once and it did sound amazing. I'll have to maybe do a review of that one on the site as well. Then each month, I always try to buy at least one Rock Candy album. And this one is thanks to Grant Arthur over at Grant's Rock Warehouse. This is Aviator. It's a 1986 album. The band is AOR, adult oriented rock. Think Survivor, those kind of bands. He played this one song Frontline on that show of his, and man, I thought it was great. So I went and made this my purchase for March. I almost forgot what month we were in. And then every month I try to fill in with one Kiss CD that's missing from my collection. And this one is the remastered of Crazy Nights. We just showed the vinyl of this on episode 2 of my Kiss vinyl series. We have one more Kiss volume 3, which was probably going to be the week before this airs. And then I'll have a bootleg episode later on the vinyl. So, but that was my Kiss one for March. For April, I already have 4 Kiss CDs on order, and so that'll be fun to go through. Another thing that I bought is the Poodles Prisma. This is a covers album, their final album actually. Here's what the actually looks like. It's got cutouts from all the band members to make the face, and then that we have this track list. Some really great songs on here they chose. They did the Osmonds Crazy Horses, which kicks off the album, which is fantastic. Maniac is a good song. Um, they did Go Your Own Way from Fleetwood Mac, and Adele Set Fire to the Rain, and Jacob Samuel really killed it on that one. So that's a great album. This is the final one I was missing in the collection. So my Poodles collection is now complete. I have all their CDs, and now I need to start working on doing all of Jacob Samuel's other stuff because he's got a lot of it. I've discovered there's like 3 or 4 bands he was in before the Poodles, and I have his one solo album after, but I'm still missing one of his solo albums. So I'm going to get that. Now on vinyl, my new release that I bought was Scott Stapp. Higher Power is the new album. Um, there he is. Creed is on tour this summer, so they're kind of back together, at least. No new music, so we'll take it. It's a beautiful gatefold. Um, and then wait till you see the color. I think it's a plum color vinyl. So just really spectacular color on that one. Uh, really like that. But that wasn't the only Scott Stapp album I bought. He did an album with Art of Anarchy, who Jeff Scott Soto is the new vocalist now. But on their second album, this is The Madness. And this is the first time on vinyl. Just came out this month. I want to say it was on Brutal Planet, Brutal, yeah, Brutal Planet Records, a limited run vinyl, and it is a beautiful, beautiful blue vinyl. Look at that. That is sharp. So that is the Art of Anarchy. I'm a huge Scott Stapp fan, and I like to collect his stuff on vinyl. I'm still working through the Creed stuff myself. And then I went by one of my local record stores, Noble Records, and I was going in there and I was looking up. Well, I was watching one of his videos on YouTube, and he was doing a flip video, and in it, it looked like there was a Yesterday and Today album, but I couldn't get up there that week that he was putting it out. The next weekend, I finally made it up there. Did not expect it to be there, and lo and behold, the first album on vinyl from Yesterday and Today. You might know them as Y&T. Um, that was what they'd changed their name to on their third album, Earthshaker. But this is the debut, very 70s hard rock. Dave Menichetti's voice is, I mean, he's young at this time. It sounds fantastic. Heck, it still sounds fantastic today. But this is a really killer album. Highly recommend getting into Y&T. And hopefully in a future episode, I'll be talking with Tim Derling, who wrote a Y&T book that I am actually in. So that'll be coming soon, hopefully. Another album, when I was flipping through his stack, there was a Hanoi Rocks. This is Back to Midnight City. This is, what is this? Their fourth album, if I'm not mistaken. I have a hard time remembering that kind of stuff. But Michael Monroe, this is from like 1983, if I'm not mistaken. Um, just great, little sleazy, little bit of glam rock. Just a band that probably should have been bigger than they were. They didn't, they had a lot of bad breaks. One of them, especially thanks to Vince Neil. But we won't go into that. And one thing about Noble Records, my local record store that I really like, they do exclusives. Um, every month, or not quite every month, but he has an exclusive album. And a lot of the stuff is early 70s, kind of hard rock and psych rock. And I really have gotten into all that stuff. It's really made me push me outside my comfort zone. And now I guess I play them enough that now Apple Music will throw on a song I don't know. And they did. And that was for a band called Seor. This is a 1971, somewhere, early 70s, late 69, somewhere in that range. It is a psych rock, hard rock, very guitar heavy, little fuzz guitar too. This thing is just killer. I mean, if you just want good musicianship and just a lot of guitar, then this is a really good one. This is, I don't know if it's Zior or Zior, but Zior. Fantastic. I love that I'm exploring new bands, old bands, but new bands to me, this late in my life. Um, And before I went to Noble, I stopped by another little local shop called Hardy Boys Records. It's over in Mint Hill, North Carolina. And a couple vinyl that I picked up was Mott the Hoople. This is Rock and Roll Queen. I want to say this is their very first compilation album from 1972 in the UK, and in the US it didn't come out till 74. But lots of classic, early classic Mott the Hoople stuff. They actually do a cover of the Kinks, You Really Got Me. Some good stuff. Most of these, it's just good. If you know Mott the Hoople, then you know what you're getting. It's good stuff. One other album I bought was the third album. I think it's the third album from 38 Special. This is called Rockin' Into the Night. That's going to be the song you also know, because that was their little big single off this one. And I think there's one cover song, but it's good Southern rock. Really, I like, good cover. Lipstick with the gun, with the bullet casing there. And then it's pretty much the whole bullet casing on the back. But good, just really good stuff. They're from Georgia, and that's where I'm originally from. So I like my old Georgia bands. Um, but also at Noble, they his CDs are like $2.50 a piece. And so I try to go a couple times a year and just sit. And I sit on the floor and got my flashlight on the phone going so I can read all the labels, and I'm going through them. One thing I did find, Night Ranger's Midnight Madness. I do collect the Night Ranger albums and CDs and tapes. So I found that one, then I didn't have it. Really excited about that. And as far as the CDs, I mean, we got some modern rocks coming. We've got um, some 80s stuff, just a whole mixture of bands, and maybe some stuff you wouldn't expect me to listen to. First up, Papa Roach, Getting Away with Murder. It's good modern rock. I mean, anything over past 2000, I consider modern rock. Um, and I really like a lot of it. Papa Roach is one of those. They're pretty consistent. Some of their albums are better than others, but they're all really good. So I've started finally collecting their CDs and stuff. Another band I like is Saliva. This one is Back Into the System, Back Into Your System. I really dig this stuff too. They're a little bit heavier than Papa Roach, but some really good stuff. One thing I had found is it's not a great album, but I didn't have it, and it's Poison's Holly Weird. Um, there's the guys on the back, full original lineup back together. Don't know much about this one. I just remember I wasn't a real big fan of it back when it came out, but I still want to collect them, and I got it cheap, $2.50. Can't beat that. Another band from the 80s that's still has stuff coming out is Dokken. This is Erase the Slate. This is 1999, if I'm not mistaken. So late 90s. I don't really know anything about this one either, but it's Dokken. Might as well buy that one too. Another band I really like that's more modern is POD. This is their smash selling album, Satellite. Yeah, this was a huge album for them. Boom was the one that I remember, that one, and Youth of the Nation were two of the really big radio staples that were on all the time. And Alive was the other one. Just really good. These guys, I think, are Southern California band. Just killer stuff. Check this one out. If you out of any of them, check that one out. Um, there is one band I have been listening to a little bit more and more. I didn't listen to him when I was younger. I bought the Black Album. So now I'm finally going back to get all their other stuff. And this one that he had is Ride the Lightning. So for $2.50, it might not be a deluxe edition or anything like that, but I don't care. So I haven't listened to it yet, but I do know For Whom the Bells Toll, Fade to Black. I am familiar with those two songs. So I'm really just getting into them. So this $2.50 is worth doing. Another band I'm trying to get into and get is Pearl Jam. So this is binaural. I guess that's how I say it. I don't know. comes in a little, I don't know, what do you call these, digipacks? So I figured might as well start trying to collect their stuff as well. Then I got some more fairly modern stuff. Rob Zombie. I don't know. I really dig his stuff. The Sinister Urge. Um, I like his stuff with John 5, the early stuff. Um, there's just, I mean, I don't know, metal boogie, I guess, whatever you want to call it, with a little horror and shock and stuff like Alice Cooper type. But Zombie, he's phenomenal. So big fan. But I did not have this one, so I was glad to grab that. Then I got a couple albums from someone you might not think I would listen to. Eminem. This one is the Eminem Show. I was got cleaning out my closet business. Um, kind of like, you know, what can I say? I kind of like his stuff. Without Me is on that one. And then I got the, what is this one? I can't see it. Marshall Mathers LP. I got that one too. So yeah, I got me a little bit of Eminem. I'm starting my little collection for him. Um, then there was one I bought knowing nothing about. I just loved the cover, the Flying Tigers. It's a promotional copy, as you can see the gold stamp on there. But I flipped it over and the producer was Brendan O'Brien. So anything Brendan O'Brien does, I'm gonna listen to. He's did Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, all those kind of albums back in the late '90s, mid '90s and stuff. So anything he's got his name attached to, I'm gonna try it out. It's post grunge sound. This is early 2000s, like 2001 or so. Really killer stuff. Much better. I had no idea what to get, so what it would be like, but it was much better than I expected. So I was really happy to get that. Then there was another band from the 80s that one of their later albums, this is Warrant with Belly. And the funny thing is, if you can see the sticker up here, it's got Celine Dion, My Heart Will Go On. Apparently, they changed the cover on it, but didn't bother taking off the sticker for the Titanic soundtrack. But this is the Warrant Belly. It is a bizarre album. You know, a lot of the 80s bands, when they hit the 90s, they tried some different stuff just to see what sticks because they were really hurting. No one was listening to 80s music. It was very taboo. So this is very, very different. It's very heavy, very strange. You can even tell by the cover. I mean, the cover's strange. Um, but, I kind of like it. So what can I say? Then I got a whole bunch of 80s CDs. Um, First up, Vixen, Rev It Up. I really like their debut album. This one's just as good. Um, Classic 80s. It's a record club edition, as you can see from the thing there. Uh, Another one I also got was Bad English. This is their second album, Backlash, and it has John Waite, Neil Sean, Jonathan Cain, and Dean Castronova on the drums, and on bass was Ricky Phillips. So this was the second adult-oriented rock. Um, I love John Waite's vocals, Neil Sean on guitar. You can't beat that. So I kind of like Bad English. I know some friends I have that don't really like Bad English, and they poke fun at them, but I like it. So what can I say? Then I picked up Robert Plant's Manic Nirvana. I did not have that one. I love that this still has when you play it, say it on the back. Um, it's Robert Plant, man. I love his voice. Big Love is on here. Hurtin' Kind. Uh, just some really great stuff. He's just his voice. I mean, it's just killer. Then there were two 80s bands that I'd heard of. Never bought them. Don't know anything about them. Uh, but I figured $2.50, I was going to try it. First one up, Babylon AD, Nothing Sacred. Um, I've only listened to it once and I liked it. It was, it's typical 80s rock. And there is nothing wrong with that. Yeah, late 80s stuff started all kind of sounding the same. The bands all looked alike and stuff, but you just pull them out and just listen to them and they're not too bad. Heaven's Edge was the next one. I think they even have a new album out recently. They've only done like 3 or 4 albums, but they got back together again. So this is one of the early albums. This thing is killer. I mean, way better than I was hoping it would be. I've listened to this one a few times, so I recommend Heaven's Edge. Babylon AD still need to listen to it a little bit more before I give any kind of comment. This was originally maybe at Ernie's Park Road and Emporium. Is it going to show it? Anyway, for $7.99, I guess that might be an original sticker. I do not know. But maybe that was where the used CD was at one time. And that's everything I picked up this month. Lots of stuff. I just don't think I usually get good deals like that on CDs, so I had to buy a whole bunch at the time. So that's it for this month. I want to thank you for watching. Go check out the website at tooloud20music.com and get yourself some merch. We have t-shirts and stuff. We got Too Loud, Too Old Music, baseball shirts and t-shirts and cups and all sorts of stuff. Go check it out at tpublic.com. I'll put the links down below. And that's all I have for you. We'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye.